Hey everybody, Aaron here. Welcome back to another Surprise Attack review. Now, today's Surprise Attack review is kind of different from my usual trend of kind of doing these things, where it was not per se an anime I watched recently. I watched it several years ago, but my best friend was talking online yesterday, and we were talking about anime that he wants to watch. Things that are kind of related items to what he's watching currently, because he has like an app that tells him about different anime. And because outside of me, he also wants to look up how he's starting to actually learn how to look up anime himself. So I'm proud of you, buddy. Yeah, no, no, but it's the concept of when he came up, he looked up and he saw Persona Trinity Soul, and I was like, wow, I have forgotten about that completely. I actually completely forgot about Persona Trinity Soul, and there's a reason for that. I'm gonna get into that though first, but I want to kind of first talk about something that's aimed at all of you in general, but also more so aimed at the people that watch these reviews that are my friends that are YouTubers as well, and they review anime and all of and manga, whatever. It is hard for us reviewers to review anything without kind of getting criticized to a point. That's because no matter what, people always go, "Oh, well, why do you say this about it? I love this series, or I love this, or I love that. You didn't like this. How could you not like that?" And I go tit for tat with my best friend about this too. We argue about that occasionally, sometimes discuss about it, where it's like he won't like a show, but I love this show, and I'll be like, "Why don't you like it?" There's a reason I like the art compared to you. I like the art. As human beings, we are all individualistic in concepts and thought and theories and thought process. How we go about the world and how we see the world is based off of our experiences in life. We don't perceive everything the same way as someone else. We might have similarities. So you might meet person A, for example, that sees the world in the same kind of way you do, but he won't see every single detail, or she won't see every detail that you see. That's because they're not looking for those details. Everyone has different ways of perceiving things, and anime especially is hard for anyone to review, because it's like anything else medium wise, where it has its fans, it has its people that hate it, it has everything else. Like, for example, I love School Days, and I always get second degree for liking School Days. People are like, how could you like School Days? It's one of the worst anime ever made. I don't care. I loved School Days. I thought it was one of the best anime ever made. Honestly, is it like the top? Is it top 100? Yeah, it's the top 100. Is it top 10? No, but it's definitely amazing. Now, I say that because I'm going to say this right now. I am a huge fan of Persona. I've eat, breathe, sleep in Persona. I've said that before in many of my reviews. You've seen it before. It's something that I live by when it comes to like me saying it to people. Like, I love Persona. I've played. I played every Persona game not once but like 3 or 4 times. I've beaten every Persona game maybe 2 or 3 times. Um, I own art books for them. I own a few statues here and there. I don't own a lot of statues, but I own collector's editions of any Persona game that came out that I can get a collector's edition in America for. I love Persona. You get that point. Um, so Persona Trinity Soul, when it was announced originally, and I still remember this. That this is something that I remember highly. I was so excited. I was on the train of watching this every day it came out. I was like, oh, I can't wait. I watched it every day it came out. Every time it came out, it was uploaded. I watched it. I was so happy. I loved this show. Right? No, I did not love this show. I hated Persona Trinity Soul. Did I hate it to the point that it would give it an F? Well, you have to find out. I'm not. I can't tell you guys the review right now. I mean, I got to lead into the review of why I don't like it. No, but yeah, and don't skip ahead. Come on, you want to watch and hear my awesome voice, right? No. Now I'm depressed. Anyway, no, I'm only kidding, guys. But let's talk about what Persona Trinity Soul actually is. Now, Persona Trinity Soul is an alternative take. You have to understand this. This is even by the creators of Persona and fan book, not fan books, but actual art books and stories. They always tell you guys this. Trinity Soul is an alternative take on what would happen after Persona 3. So this takes place 10 years after the end of Persona 3. Excuse me. I said just a Persona, but it's 10 years after Persona 3, where we have a whole new cast of characters, and we have one reoccurring character, two actually, if you think about it, but one actual from Persona 3 and one from every single Persona series thing ever made. But the main concept of Persona Trinity Soul is there's actually some kind of incident going on in Ayanagari City, where things are happening and people are getting hurt, and they're probably actually being killed. But notably, how they're being killed is being turned inside out. So they're being called the reverse cases, where they find the body, and the body is literally turned inside out. Like that's creepy and sounds horrible, right? It is kind of spooky in the way if you think about it in the show. But I always love that concept about Persona. It's always been not afraid to go dark places with the storytelling. Now, you don't see it from that concept, but you see it from the main eyes of the brothers Shin and Ryo Kanzato. Now, what they do is they come back to the city after many years, and they are trying to figure out what's happening. One's actually a police officer, one's a high school student, but they get involved in different ways. Where Shin activates a persona, which, if you guys don't know, every Persona game and anime or whatever was made always has a slightly different of how personas are activated. You know, Persona 1 was a game that they played that summoned personas. Persona 2 was based off of truth and lies. Persona 3 was based off of facing your inner weaknesses and being able to summon anywhere during certain time periods. Persona 4 was being able to summon in a different world. Same concept as Persona 3 in the summoning process. And then you had Persona 5, which I have no idea yet because that's come out yet, so we don't know how they're going to summon the personas. But Persona Trinity Soul is more so awakening. That's what I want to consider it as. It's awakening to your strength and your weakness at the same time, coming forth as a being. So in this case, our main character has the persona called Abel, which, if you guys know anything about religion concept, that's Cain and Abel from the Bible. But he's able to summon Abel, and his brother's actually able to summon Cain, which is kind of funny. And then one of the other brothers, which they won't talk about very much until later parts of the show, and I don't want to spoil it because he's critical in his own sense. He's able to summon Seth, which is the third brother in many altercations of Cain and Abel's story. But the concept, it sounds cool. Personas being summoned by having to fight against these now kind of creatures that are being summoned by other people. Because the thing is that the people that are summoning personas are either taking drugs to summon them, so they're being forced. Because one of the things that you find out in Persona 3, which is I'm glad that they've kept in the story of this, is that personas can be summoned via many ways. But one of the ways that was done in the video game was by drugs. They could take certain types of drugs that were not prescribed, but they were like modified drugs, and they would actually let you summon the persona like by force. You can actually forcefully summon it because everyone had a persona in them, but it would be up to that person to actually activate or awaken to it, which was very rare. In many ways, I like that concept of Trinity Soul. I think it's kind of cool that they kept that concept, but what I don't like is the tone that they set in. One of the big things about Persona was fighting against other Persona users and fighting against those who kind of done wrong in the sense that, trying to keep everyone safe. There in Persona Trinity Soul, you'll see a lot of people killing people. Like the main character kills, I don't want to say killer, but someone that attacks him with his persona. And I almost have big issues with that because honestly, I know that the guy is not a good guy either. He's a bad guy who attacked him, but it goes against what Persona kind of stands for in the sense that, one of the cool things about it was always killing people that aren't per se people. They're either shadows or Persona users that are evil, but even then they didn't really kill them. It was, if they did kill them, it was because they had to force their hand, not just because, I let my Persona out completely, he's going to do whatever he wants to do. This show has almost no control. Any Persona user in the show almost is like a joke to Persona users and anything else in the Persona franchise. Because they're not actually able to control their persona. Like, for example, one of his friends, I forgot the guy's name off the top of my head, but he's able to summon a persona and immediately loses control of it. He can't control it. It goes everywhere. There was Spartacus. His friend's actual name is Takaro. But he summons Spartacus, and Spartacus goes around just throwing him everywhere and flying around, and he can't control it. And that almost is like blasphemy to Persona, because Persona is supposed to be that you summon personas when you have activation or realization of what your strength or weakness is, and then you're able to successfully control it and maintain it. Not, I summoned it, but I have no control of it. That was one of my biggest issues with it right off the bat. But that's an issue that I think it takes place more of a fan kind of concept than just the show being bad. So remember, I'm trying to dial this back as much as I can to keeping it so where my fandom, because you can already hear it, doesn't come out. And it's hard because this show is trying to be what I think appeals to fans more than just anyone else, because it's a continuation of a franchise that people love. It's hard. It really is, because the story is all over the place. You know, the concepts that are there are just them trying to solve the murder mystery, but also dealing with their own kind of internal family strife that they have, where one of the brothers is very cold and distant because he's got reasons to be, and then the other brothers are very outgoing, but also very introverted because of his brother acting a certain way to him. It's almost like they wanted to take the most melancholy and depressing characters they could throw into an anime and just throw them into this anime altogether. You know, almost everyone in the show has a very depressed tone to them, and you know, you might say, "Oh, isn't that Persona 3 essentially?" No, Persona 3, they got depressed because they had to deal with certain issues, but they were, you know, upbeat at times, they were funny at times, and this show trends the water very rarely with them switching back and forth. They're usually always one way, you know, expressed in the show. And this review is going on way longer than I thought it would, but it's here's the thing. Here's the thing. If you have never watched it, if you never enjoyed a Persona game or anything Persona, and you watch this, you're gonna think this is a good show, and it's understandable. I mean, like they show Akihiko, which is the only thing that you really connects it to Persona 3 in terms of it being successfully connected to that. You know, it's also some of the locations and some of the concepts. You know, those are there too. But you'll get your enjoyment out of it because you'll be like, well, this is a great animation. The animation is amazing for it. The voice acting, Japanese dub wise, is awesome. There is no English voice acting for this. The music's pretty good. The story is not bad. You'll enjoy it if you're a newcomer. But if you're like me, and this is how I'm gonna review it, guys. If you're a fan of Persona and you're going into this as a Persona fan, which is more so than not, I have to give it. If I had to give it the eighth ref, I have to give it a solid C minus. Now, you're gonna say, "Oh, well, that doesn't sound that horrible." You said you hated it originally. Hate does not mean that I'm always gonna give something a D or F, guys. It just means that I'm gonna give something a very low score. But I'll tell you guys right now, if you're not a fan of Persona, watch this. You might actually like this a lot. You really will, because it does have some nice animations and it has a decent story that's easy to follow for even those who don't really follow up with the Persona lore. I mean, you will miss like certain things like Igor showing up. You'll miss like who he really is in the story. You'll miss who Akihiko is, but it's not going to destroy your kind of viewing of Persona Trinity Soul. But for everyone else who is a fan of the series, this is hard to watch. It really is, because what it does is it kind of plays around with a lot of cool concepts that Persona has and makes them almost kind of a joke. I don't know. I personally didn't like Persona Trinity Soul, but I'll leave you guys with the sense that, you know, hey, is it the worst thing I've ever watched? No. Is it the best thing I've ever watched? Hell no. But if you like just animation, if you like decent storytelling and kind of a decent overall feel of a show, check out Trinity Soul. You might like it. You'll probably get more enjoyment out of it than I will. Anyways, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this review. I know it wasn't one of my best. I apologize, guys. Please like, comment, subscribe. I'll do more better ones when it comes out. It's just that this is hard. This is one of those anime that I hate reviewing because it's the one that I know people will either love or hate it, because they'll either agree with me wholly or be like, "Oh, we disagree with you completely. You're a horrible person." And you know, you're not incorrect when you say that. If you disagree with me, it's not a big deal. I'm not a horrible person. Don't say I'm a horrible person. That's not nice. But no, but anyways, you know, listen. Until our paths cross again next review, I hope you guys enjoy this. Better ones coming next time. Have a great day, everyone. Bye.